Alrighty, there we go. Okay, so that should be muted. So welcome everybody to Love Speaks Love with my beautiful guest, Mr. Martin McNicholl. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Better late than never. Thank you. So good to be here with you. I don't know how I'm upright at the moment, and apologies for being a little bit late, but we're here, and it's so good to be back with you here. Good to see you.
All good in the hood. I nearly said in the hat because I was looking at the feline behind you.
Beautiful being, huh?
Amazing.
Family. It's family.
Okay, so let me just no, I'll share it after, I think. Okay. Oh, yeah, we've missed you.
Yeah. That's good. That's nice. That's nice. I miss you too. We miss you all, but we're dancing so much in other realms. So much. It's happening. There's so much going on, and we're more and more, I feel, as my last 4 hours have just told me, like more and more we're just so much, there's so much of us, expanded versions of us, really interacting, collaborating, co-creating. But yes, it's very important to get grounded and be here and be connected in this way as well. And I'm going through a period of reintegrating that as well. So it's very, very good to be back here with you.
Yay.
And you all.
Okay, so
what have I been missing? What's been happening? I'm blissfully unaware. What have I been missing?
I've got no idea.
See?
All right, let's do the heart-to-heart connect. Okay. So welcome everybody. And if you wish to join us in this, feel free. It would be lovely to have you with us in this heart-to-heart connection. So let us bring our awareness to our heart space in the center of our chest. And let us breathe love into our beautiful hearts. Feeling ourselves fully anchored and present in our physical bodies, in our heart space. Breathing in love to every cell of our bodies. Breathing out anything of the day so far or the day ahead, anything that might be stopping you from being in this now moment. And extending our heart awareness out to the heart of Gaia. Feeling ourselves held within Gaia's crystalline diamond heart. And feeling Gaia's love moving into every cell of our bodies. And extending that heart awareness out to the heart of the sun. Thanking the sun for the solar codes. Thanking the sun for being the transducer of the cosmic information. As it passes from the sun to earth. And extending that heart awareness out to the heart of Source Creator. So all of our hearts beating as one in this one unified field of love. Martin, anything you wish to add?
Kiratea hoi shiasarai ana amaraki hatro tuia yana sai atiaki hatraya soyaye samayana ye kataraye toa hinaye asaraye toaye saya mayinaye.
Kionai ayanokoia kia matene titorun mahial eat ois tatata untada a mikihia ant oko o ita a tata unta a kita unta a elikia ya ne toto onoko kokolikita a patakita a ekita pa unto oktakata a kikita ko uto ishtata. So bringing our awareness back to our hearts. And if your eyes are closed, opening them when you're ready. Ooh.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yummy, yummy.
So how was your session? Is there anything you want to share from your session?
As you know, I literally just arrived here from it. I haven't eaten today. I've had breathwork this morning, then straight into a session that was supposed to be an hour, and it literally didn't finish until a few seconds before I came in here. Oh my god! So, I don't even know how to share. It hasn't. Well, it's here, but it's really working on what resistances I still hold to expanding into the fullness of who I am and what I'm here to bring, and discovering those and unearthing them and bringing them out and bringing that out. And it was very powerful, and I'm still vibrating there. Very unexpected that it lasted the length of time that it did, but I'm a stubborn Irishman, you know. I still got that part of me very much there. So yeah, very deep work on my role, I suppose, my role here, and how a lot of my role I've just fallen into. As you know, all I know is I know nothing, and I stay with that. But a lot of the stuff I just fall into it, and it was very much about actually taking, there was a word, taking command of that, taking command of direction, and being definite, and being, you know, having command of your energy, of your focus, of your attention. So it was very much around that, and yeah, it's still, I mean, this is my integration is coming on here with you. So yeah, beautiful, powerful.
That's really interesting. Did you know that was what it was going to be about, or did that just come up in the session?
I went into it with no idea. I just get these nods sometimes, hits, and to reach out to this sister who's incredible being, and it was a while ago, and I have no idea why, but it just becomes apparent in the moment as you do it. So no, I had no. Well, I was going into it with this feeling that I've had for the last 2 years, like what, you know, what's next, or where am I to go? What is birthing? What is birthing? That, I suppose that was the question was coming. What is birthing? And this labor seems to be going on longer than expected for the impatient one. But yeah, so no idea where it would go, but yeah, that sort of idea generally.
Because I think that's the reason I ask, is that, yeah, I can feel that question in me as well. Like, I think a lot of us are aware that we are stepping up.
Yes.
But that there's more. And I just feel it's the time to just find out, what is it that's holding us back? What is it that we're not seeing?
That is just amazing. Those exact words, those were my exact words. Exactly those words is what I said when we got into the session. That is so perfectly, intuitively on point.
Yeah, if it comes back to you, let me know what the findings were.
Well, I can tell you from my perspective, I was afraid. I'm going to say I was afraid of myself and afraid of stepping in, afraid of my own capacity. That was one of the things that was holding me back. I was afraid of myself, afraid of the potential. If that makes sense. Afraid of what could be. So I was holding myself back because of fear of my own, I want to use the word power, but not in a not in a sense power over. It's like a much broader definition of power. That was that. What was the second part of the question again? You remind me, because it was literally exactly those words. What's holding me back, and what was the other one? Can't remember now. Oh my god! you word for word, you said what I'd said.
What's holding us back? No, I've got no idea.
Maybe someone can help in the comments. If someone's on there, they can. That's,
I'll keep an eye out.
Okay, it'll come.
Not showing up. Actually, I need to just.
It'll come. It'll come, yeah. if it's meant to. It'll come. It'll come back. But that was what was one of the main things of the holding back.
And I hear you on that as well. Like, I really hear you. I like the word capacity that you used, but I really hear you on that, and like, yeah, a bit afraid of your own power.
Yes. I want to expand that word power, because power and some of its definitions have been, power over, limited power, holding power, this sort of thing. It's much more expanded than that. Yeah, the capacity or potential. And I was realized I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid of myself. That was one of the things that really came.
And was there some past, if you don't mind me asking, was there some past life stuff in regards to that as well? Do you know? Or
we focus very predominantly on this lifetime.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't any. I'm sure everything is multi-layered, but this was very much focused on this life, and a lot of experiences and traumatic experiences. And whenever, especially when younger, in open-hearted innocence, as all children are, when the experiences happen that, because that is our power, is our love, is our innocence, is our purity, is our, our openness. But whenever experiences, when we are in younger physical forms, then it feels like I'm in my power. It's not power to that being, but it's like whenever I'm open-hearted and then something happens that closes that down, then that can lead to us being afraid, like our own power, again, in this broadest sense. We become fearful of it, because it was linked with traumatic experiences. when we're open, we're innocent, we're pure, and then something in the reality, we have a traumatic experiences that closes that down, and then in some of us that links our power with, so that's fearful. If I'm open, if I am in my power, if I'm in my capacity and my full potential, it's dangerous or it's not safe. So yeah, it's very much
Beautiful.
along
Thank
that
you
line.
for that. Yeah, that resonates a lot. Thank you. Oof, just letting that one land in.
That really landed with me as I shared there about the, like, our power is our innocence, is our openness. That's, I think that redefined it for me and landed as that came through.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So I wanted to ask you about your sacred sites journey.
Oh my God, yes.
Was that
So
40 days?
40 days and 40 nights. Sacred and not so sacred sites. That's what it was entitled. So by some universal miracle, we were gifted a motorhome, because on the physical realm, we definitely didn't have any means to make that happen, but we were gifted a motorhome, and I was guided that we were to visit lots of sacred sites and do it over 40 days and 40 nights and drive through Portugal, through Spain, through France, into the UK, and then up to Ireland. And then that would finish with me being best man at my brother's wedding at the end of that tour. So some of the sites we knew, actually very few that we knew. Have you heard, do you know that, you will know, this St. Michael's line? Do you know? So there's a line of temples dedicated to Archangel Michael, and there's a line that goes from Ireland to Israel, and it's a straight line. And there's one in Ireland, one in Cornwall, UK, one in France, Mont Saint Michel, and two in Italy, one in Greece, and then it ends up in Mount Carmel, Israel. And then in the UK, there is Michael and Mary line, which goes it's not quite the opposite direction, but it goes northeast to southwest across the UK. It goes through Glastonbury, Avebury, and a lot of other places. I knew the sites on that we were to visit, which was Mont Saint Michel in France, St Michael's Mount in Cornwall, and Skellig Michael in Ireland. So they're all islands, and they all have St Michael's, what do we call them? Cathedral, like their sites based on that. So I knew those, and I knew Montserrat, a mountain near Barcelona, which is absolutely unbelievable. If anyone hasn't been there before or is called there, is wow. So I knew that, and I knew the Mount Bergerac, so the Christ Magdalene sites in the south of France. I knew we were going to a couple of those, but everything else was kind of, we would be guided on the way. So the three of us set off and started in the Portuguese Stonehenge, is what they call it. Cromlech is like standing stones that are like kind of the shapes of almonds. And then we just drove every day, and every day we would be taken to a new site, and it was incredibly beautiful and incredibly challenging. Twice in the first like 4 or 5 days, we were like, oh, we're going home, we're going back, because of challenges, like because it was so powerful and initiations, and we're in this small space, so it was bringing up all of our stuff. So yeah, twice we were going home, but we carried on. Thankfully, we carried on, and one of the in Spain, like one of the random ones was one of the oldest trees in Spain. It was like it's over 800 years old, and it's just like this giant thing. And we ended up going visiting that, and I kind of had the idea it's going to be all these sacred sites. It's going to be beautiful. We're not going to be near any cities, and we ended up in Madrid, Barcelona, some other cities as well. And oh my God, the days in the cities were the big initiations, so strong. We ended up sleeping in Madrid, sleeping in Barcelona with, just whatever you plan, that's not going to happen. uh, this saying kept coming, is like, uh, man plans and God laughs. I love that because that's exactly the experience. So yeah, we just visited loads of these sacred sites, and kind of, we didn't spend any longer than 2 days in any one place, really. I think the only place we stayed 2 days was Tintagel, and that's a whole nother story why that happened, from Merlin's cave. But we visited, yeah, so many places. That Montserrat is incredible. All those Cathar region, Christ Magdalene, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, all those sites in the south of France, Mont Saint Michel, France, and then in the UK, of course, Glastonbury, Avebury, Mount St Michael's Mount, and other places along that Michael Mary line. It was amazing, really powerful. I don't even know where to begin to share. It was just intense and powerful and beautiful. And in the middle of it, we had a bit of a mishap, and so we had planned to visit, and we thought about maybe potentially meeting up with you and others in the UK. But after an initiation in Merlin's cave, where I had to go there at 4 o'clock in the morning on my own, in the dark, and face all my fears. The next morning, we're out blissful, and we're driving along the road, and a truck knocked the wing mirror off the motorhome, and it's like this 10-year-old Italian motorhome, and they don't even make the wing mirrors for it. So we ended up having to put tape around the wing mirror, and I drove the whole way from Cornwall right the way to North Wales and straight up Ireland. So we didn't do any stops after that southern part, Cornwall, and there we went straight to my parents' house because it was totally illegal, and it took actually a week before we could even get it on the road again. So none of the stops in Ireland and none of the stops in the UK, but we had so many incredible spaces and places where we were. And then it ended up with me being best man at my brother's wedding and doing a speech sober at an Irish wedding. 8 years sober. This was the first year that it didn't register that I was another year sober. So the 7-year cycle did it. So yeah. Pick one. There were so many. You need to pick one. I might even have to look at my phone. Okay, I'll tell you the most impactful for me, the most like just like wow, was it in Glastonbury in the Magdalene Chapel. I met Joe Delaney, actually. Dr. Joe, met him for the first time. He just happened to be we were there on 8/8 in Glastonbury, and he just happened to be there, of course. And me and him went to that chapel, and then I never seen him after because I basically, I can't even tell you, but I was there for 3 or 4 hours, completely melted. I ended up, there's a little small room where there's a picture, one with a picture of Mary Magdalene, one with a picture of Yeshua, and I just fell on the ground and I was just crying. I just couldn't stop crying, and I think they all left, which was, I had to be there on my own. I was there for hours. I don't know how long I was there. And actually, the woman that, one of the guardians of the place, whenever she saw me, I think I might have disappeared or something. Honestly, I never left there, but disappeared, because she says to me, she came up to me and says, "Oh, you're still here." Must have been 3 hours later, but so powerful. Oh my god, I couldn't look at the image of Yeshua, and I just fell on the ground. It was so powerful. Like I can't even describe it. It was immensely powerful. So that was, yeah, that was that. The most beautiful, powerful place was Montserrat Mountain near Barcelona. It is just wow. That place is unbelievable. It's like half an hour outside Barcelona, and it's this huge and it's a being. It's a being. It's this mountain, and you can just see. I would love you to see it because you're so visual and clear. Like you would just see. I was seeing it, so it was clear. You just, this mountain is alive. It is just stunning, breathtaking, very powerful. That's the couple of highlights.
So the Magdalene Chapel, was that the one in the Abbey or the one on its own?
The little small one that you would never even know was there
Yeah.
unless someone told me. I don't know. I think maybe it was I think it was Martina or Joe. I can't remember how it came. I didn't know anything about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
And you would walk past it if you didn't know. It's tiny. You know the one?
absolutely, absolutely.
Is it right? It is the Magdalen Chapel. I'm
Yeah,
sure. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
What we did, so the abbey, so there was a whole group we met there, and we come into that abbey, and there was about, I don't know, 8 or 9 of us in a circle in that chapel that you're talking about, and then all this spontaneous chanting and light language, and we're raising the roof in there, and they actually come in and told us you can't do this in here, and they kicked us out. Uh, so then we went outside, and this spontaneous circle just happened again, and we were doing it again, and then she came over again and said, "You can't do this here." So she was moving us around, so we ended up moving into the orchard. They had to put us into the orchard so that we weren't combusting the whole place with light language and codes and everything. Oh my god, that was funny. Yes.
Yeah, because there's the little Magdalene Chapel that's actually in the Abbey.
Yes.
I've walked past that so many times thinking it's just like a little, I don't know, a little cupboard or something. Like it just doesn't look like anything.
Yes.
And I'd been to the other one that's like tucked away just down the road from there. But it took me a few goes to find that one. And I
Yes.
had some really deep, profound bee experiences one time that started in there, because there was a bee buzzing around, like a masonry bee, are they called? Mason bee.
Mm-hmm.
And it had this beautiful harmony to it, this beautiful sound of its buzzing. So I was kind of harmonizing a little bit with it. And then when I went to the ladies' chapel, where there's the crypt at the back, and there were so many bees, it was so loud in there, and they were all going into the stonework, and there was, incidents with spiders because they were almost getting caught by spiders near the holes as they were going in. And then I stood there and I could see this hexagon around me, and it's like it came up like there was a side at the side, there was a side at each side, a side at the front, a side at the back, and a side on top, and each of them hexagon, but somehow they were joined together like a dice, but instead of them being square, they were hexagon. And it was deeply, deeply profound, the energies in there, and so many beings. And there's a little shop where I got this pendant from, opposite the Abbey on the other side of the road. Is it called Portal? And I went in there to say, is there any shape that is like 6 hexagons? Like, how would you put that together? And we had this massive conversation. And they're actually, I can't remember if it's squares that go in between. There is a particular geometry that is. But yeah, always deeply profound in there, and in the little Magdalene Chapel, the one near the supermarket. The one that
It's
you were meaning.
I'm just remembering as you spoke there, that was amazing, by the way. I was just feeling that I had a beautiful experience with bees one time before, but that was like, wow, that is just beautiful. Such beautiful beings. But as you were speaking, you guided us. I remember watching when I was still on the social media. I remember one day you were doing a live on the tour, and you were saying you were going to look for this dragon's egg. And so
Mm.
when we were there, you jumped into my, and I didn't know anything about it. That was the first time I heard it. I'm blissfully unaware of most things. That was the first time I'd ever heard of it, and I never thought about it after that until that moment we were there, and you just jumped into my field, and I'm just remembering it now. And Mark, one of the guys, was there. I says, "Do you know about this dragon's egg?" He says, "Yeah, of course, I'll take it." So we went there and had a powerful experience there too. Yes.
Yeah, and there's a hawthorn tree next to it, so the hawthorn is really linked with magic, and that feels very much like a gateway, like a gateway into the Fey world, basically.
Mm.
But that dragon's egg is very, very strong energy. So
Yes.
yeah, the first time I looked for it, I kind of knew where it was. I was directly underneath it, but I didn't have the right attire on to kind of clamber up the hill or down.
Yes.
And I
Quite
was
steep,
so
yeah.
close. I knew I was really close to it, but I just couldn't get there on that day. So the next day I went back with like more suitable shoes on. And you kind of, you're trying to avoid the nettles and climb up holding onto the grass at some points, but
Yes.
it's so worth it.
Yes.
And then when I finished, I went up, and I would rather go the way that I went than go down from the top. I think I'd have freaked out a little bit doing it all around.
Yes. I think it's an elusive sort of energy as well, and you have to go through a kind of initiatory process to get there. Because Mark, he's I think he lived there before, and he knew it well, and he had trouble finding it. He said no when he said, I said, "Do you know about this?" Yeah, of course, I'll take it there. And then he had trouble finding it. So I feel like you have to earn your way to it through the initiation.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. And what about Merlin's cave? Is there anything more you wanted to share about?
Wow. So this is again, I never heard I didn't know anything about Merlin's cave until one just random day, uh, Amanda Lawrence, I saw her, she was doing a video one day and she just said the word Merlin's cave, or she was in Merlin's cave, I think, or she talked about Merlin's cave. And so that just was there. I don't know what, it just was there. And then so whenever we went to, were we going specifically for that? Where it's Tintagel is that's near, yeah?
Yeah, I've never been, but yes, I believe so.
Because every day I was like, it was like, and the other thing about like, going in a motorhome and moving every day, like it really got timeless. You really got a sense like I haven't got a clue where I am, what day it is, what time it is. We have that a lot, but it was like really like that because you're not even waking up in the same place a lot of times. Um, But what happened there? We were going to another place, and then so that was on my again. I never read. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it at all, other than I saw a video with Amanda Lawrence one time. She was there, I think, or talking about it, and so we find ourselves in I think that St Michael's Mount, which is the in Cornwall. It's like it's like an island off as well. It's like tidal. Sometimes you can walk to it. Sometimes you need to get a boat, and then it just happened. People we would meet along the line would say, "Oh, are you going to Merlin's cave? Oh, are you going to..." So it happened a couple of times, and I say, "Okay, of course, I'm going." So we went there, and it's tidal as well. So you can only go when the tide is out, because when the tide is in, it fills this cave. So again, I still don't know anything about this other than my experience of it. So as soon as we got to this place, resistance was starting to come up, and things were starting to go wrong, and so everything was just stopping us going to this place. It was closed at a certain time. You needed a ticket. There was just all sorts of things was happening. And then we tried to go back, couldn't get there. So I think we tried 3 times to go, and something went wrong. And so we're already there the second day, and we're like, we've got a lot more places to go. And well, little did we know we wouldn't visit anywhere after that other than my parents' house. But so I was like, I can see all this. Like, I'll tell you one of the examples. Literally, the evening before I went, we went down, and there's a guy. I'm going to say in this language because we're on here, he was having a multi-dimensional experience, but to others in the physicalized realm would say he's absolutely off his face and hallucinating. He was, when you go down, there's a castle up at the top. I think is a Camelot, whatever the castle is called, Arthur's castle. Again, I don't know the names, the details. There's a castle up there, and you go down, the cave's right down below that. But we're walking down, and this guy is screaming, swearing. He's in a war with Merlin, and a war, like he's living out and like literally punching, swinging. There's no one near him, but the energy was like so strong, and he was swearing at Arthur, and all this stuff was going on anyway. And I was with Elise and Angelo, and it was kind of getting dark, and I was like, okay, there's so much energy like resisting me going to this place. So that night we went back, and I says, I'm going no matter what. Oh, the tide was in. That was one of the things. The tide was in. This guy having a multi-dimensional stroke psychotic experience, depending on what level you look at it. So I says, I have to go here. So then I looked up when is the next low tide, or I spoke to a guy and he says, oh, the next low tide. I learned something that you have 2 high tides and 2 low tides. I didn't know that. So he told me you'll have to come back at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And I was like, I don't want to wait another day. So I checked, and the next low tide was at like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, something like that. So I got up in the middle of the night and went down in the dark and went down into this cave. And I thought it's called Merlin's Cave. So my idea was, oh, I'm going to go here, I'm going to connect with Merlin and some channeling, some energy or activation or whatever. And it wasn't that at all. So it was very dark. I could still feel the energy of that guy. So there was fear coming up straight away. Middle of the night, water's coming in, it's dark, really dark, couldn't see anything. The light didn't work on my, I went down on my bike. So we got down into the cave, and I just get this thing. I was going to bring in my phone, and it was like, leave the phone there. You have to leave the phone out, leave the bag there, leave everything out, and just had to go into the cave. And just fear was coming up. Fear of what? I can't tell you, but I have no fear of death. I have no fear of, but there was just a primal fear coming up in me. And I just had to go into the cave and just sit in that cave and just feel my own fear. Again, I can't say what I was afraid of, but there was just fear, and I just sat there. And then there was the fear of the water. I couldn't see, is the water going to come in? I'm going to be stuck in here, or going to all that. And I sat and just sat in it and just allowed myself to feel the fear. And it was, yeah, it was very powerful, very, very powerful. I just sat with it. And then that was it. It was just like, meet your fears, face your fears, sit with your fears, be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I sat in there. I have no idea how long. And the noises, because there's water comes from both sides, and the sounds, and of course your consciousness will create things like this as well. So it was like, it was completely just facing primal fear and seeing, could I just sit in it and be okay? And I was. And I came out and it started to get light. And I think I did record a little video actually when I was out. I couldn't stop that. But I wasn't the video, and I've not done anything with it, or I've not watched it back. It's on my phone, but it was so powerful. It was like really facing a primal fear on your own in this dark cave, and nothing like what you thought it was going to be. So that was what happened there.
Wow. Interesting.
I want to show you something amazing that happened after that, and I'm going to have to just run into this other room just for 2 seconds. I'll come back. I want to share it because it was magic what happened after that.
Wow, you can see that amazing leopard in all its glory.
So, you know Sherlyn, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So, she was part of the Near Earth Mystery School in 2019, and I got really, like as all of us did, I get really drawn to a couple of her art pieces, amazing work. And Kath, you know Kath Courier?
Yep.
So she told me that one of Cher's paintings was in a crystal shop in Glastonbury, and we were in a rush because we were going off to another place. And me and Kath, I said, "Come on, we have to go. Let's go quickly. I want to see the actual thing." So we went to the crystal shop, saw the 2 paintings, and it was amazing. And then we run off. So we went on the journey, and I got back, all the mishaps and everything, got back to my mum's house. And we were back home in Ireland in June. So I've been back. That was the first time since 2019, since all of the pandemonium. I was back in June. We flew back in June and had a short visit and came back. But then we arrived here, and I was back for a little bit. And my mum says, "Oh, I forgot." She said, "This parcel arrived for you." She says, "I can't remember when it arrived." And then no one was traveling. They weren't posting anything. She just kept it there. So we don't know how long this is. And there's a parcel there for me. There's no name on it. There's no anything on it. I don't know who sent it. And we only know that it arrived sometime between 2019 and 2022. So it was in my mom's house, and this is after the Merlin's cave. So at my mom's house, there is this.
Whoa.
I could not believe my mom, like when I told, like when she gave it to me and I opened it, she saw my face. She was like, "What is going on?" I couldn't believe it. Someone, I don't know, like we were like, is share from another dimension? That all I know is this was in my mom's house sometime from 2019 until now, and I was actually at home, and she hadn't remembered in June to give it to me. It only happened after I did this
Wow.
initiation in Merlin's Cave. So it was just like, wow, wow. I still have no idea who sent it, so thank you. If it's anyone here, it's just amazing because it was just this thing, and it ended up at my mom's house, and it was just magic. So
Wow. And that's the painting that's in Stone Age in the crystal shop.
isn't that amazing? And so
Yeah.
someone had sent it to me, sent it to my mom's house. So it was just wow. That
Wow.
sort of miraculous stuff was happening a lot.
I think they used to sell Shannon's cards, didn't they, in there? I
I
think
think,
maybe a bit of a
yeah,
connect.
we spoke with a woman and said why we were here, and she said, "Oh, they all go show a beautiful, beautiful lady showing us around." We had a very short visit, so we didn't get to
Mm.
stop too long, but yeah. And then again, that's another place you would never find it unless you knew. It's like right in a back little
Yeah.
kind of alley. So was it was all been divinely orchestrated. So yeah, that was just magic. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Never ceased to be amazed for this stuff. So it could be someone that just knew that I liked it. Who knows? Um, but they didn't leave their name. So I don't know. So I just send out my gratitude to whoever that was, or however that appeared in my mom's house. That was just a magic gift.
And on another level, it almost feels like Merlin saying, I was there actually all the time. It's
Yeah,
almost like Merlin saying, I am with you. It might have
good
felt
on you.
like
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yes, yes. Well, when we're in fear, that's one thing we can be sure of. When we are in fear, we cannot see what is true.
Mm.
And
And I don't think you were meant to, it sounds like
yeah,
you were just meant to do that, to just face your fears.
yes.
Um, yeah,
Mm,
interesting.
it's amazing. I just thought of one other thing from Glastonbury because, so you know the Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, I have to get the photograph. I have to get the photograph. Because we were on this giant motorhome, it's 7.5 meters long. We were all, and it's so the roads in the UK and Ireland are not built for these things. Oh my God. I realized that as soon as I got onto UK shores. So we were always late. Everything, we were always late. But we were late that day coming to Glastonbury, and I got into the. I'm just going through the photographs to see because I have to show you this. I have to show you. It's better showing it. So we were late coming in. All the group was already in that chapel that you're talking about, and I get into the car park. And you know the way synchronicity and numbers is always for me. I get into the car park, and I hope you'll be able to see this. And I see this number plate, and I'm hoping you're going to be able to read it. I get it zoomed, focused. Oh, it's not going to work. Come on, there we go. Can you see it?
I saw fives.
Let's see. It's not focus. There we go. Ah, felines, come on. There we go. So I'm going to tell you because it's not really coming up so well. It's the number plate is Y55HUA, and I've disappeared into a feline. Y55HUA. It literally says Yeshua.
What?
If you make one of the fives an E, it says Yeshua. Let's see. I have to show you. It's real.
Yeah.
That was in the
Wow.
Abbey car park. Look, it's just like a normal truck, like a van. Y55 hits you. If you make one of the fives an E, it's Yeshua. I'm getting chills all over me. That was insane. I just couldn't believe it. I turned into a feline. Come
Now,
on.
yes.
Yeah. Prr, prr.
So yesterday I went for quite a long walk yesterday, and I'll come back to some of my findings, but shall I say that first? I've been doing a lot of balancing between my masculine and feminine side, and I've had like womb activation after womb activation after womb activation this year. It's been almost continual, the work that's been done. And I feel the balancing is linked to that. So balancing my inner masculine and feminine so that my womb, my deep womb center can fully come online. And I was walking back yesterday, and the photo's really, really blurred. So even if I show you the photo, it's not really gonna, it's not really gonna make much difference. But the registration was YX, masculine, feminine,
Yes.
22, TXD. I haven't thought too much about the TXD. And it was outside house number 77. And I took a photo, but it was so dark, I couldn't, it didn't, it didn't take, but I just thought that was really interesting. And I didn't know, of course, that you were going to show me a photo of a car registration. And I know sevens and 747. Our Zoom room has 47 in it. It was like 1647. So if you add the 1 and the 6, you get 747.
That is my like number. Yes. That is
So
my
what happened to me yesterday? So when I said at the beginning of the show, I didn't really know what's been happening. All that's been happening with me basically is that I've been in my garden. I've been filming myself in my garden. I've been working with the energy in the garden. Started a YouTube channel because I want to share about working with energy when gardening and working with the land, connecting with the land, connecting with the she, connecting with the fae. And one thing that I noticed, the way that the grass grows, is that you can see patterns. You can see patterns in the grass with your eyes, not just with your one eye, but with the other two eyes. And I see a lot of hearts in the garden, and hearts are really hearts and diamonds, which are kind of like my two symbols more than anything. But also spirals, like you can see the way things grow sometimes, that there's like a spiral there. And I feel that it's a spiral of energy in the ground that is causing the grass to grow in that way. And I have only noticed that in my own garden, but I was out near the stream yesterday. So this is beneath the castle on the other side of the stream. And it's land that's it's called ruckus, and it's land that is like in waves. And I think that means that it was used as like it's ancient land that was used. There's a reason why there's some archaeological reason for it. But I was just looking at the ground because the sun was going down, and that's the time that I see energy the most with my physical eyes, at dusk or at night. And I was drawn to this patch of land, and I noticed that the grass was different inside the patch, and it was a circle. So I stepped into it, and I was like, oh, I could feel like the portal energy. I could feel the spiral energy. So then I went somewhere else as well, just on the playing field. And I was like, right, okay, show me. And again, same, I found this patch, this circular patch, where the grass was different. And maybe there were a few more different weeds in it, like the stuff that was growing inside that patch was different from what was on the outside of it. So I thought that was interesting. I don't really hear people talking about that. I noticed it first in Australia, that there were like round patches where things kind of grew in a bit of a circle.
Do you have, like in Ireland, you have the fairy rings where you have the mushrooms in circles? I'm sure you have in the UK as well. Do you find them?
Yeah, I
You
haven't seen
find
many of them, but
Yeah, you
yeah.
find you go into a field and it's like completely dark, and you'll just a ring of mushrooms in a perfect circle, and they call it fairy ring, and no farmer will go into it. And in Ireland, still, no farmer will ever cut down a hawthorn tree. They will not do it, and if they do, they're mental. They just will not do it. Yeah, fairy ring. But I was feeling that as you described, especially the first one. I was feeling that. I was feeling that energy, like
Mm.
here. I was feeling it as you described it. It was magic, magic.
Yeah, yeah, there's so many magical places around here. It was dropping in yesterday that I kind of want to do some kind of in-person retreat here. Maybe it might be after the YouTube channel, you know, kind of, or maybe it won't, maybe it'll be sooner, but teaching about fully connecting with our physical bodies, but fully connecting to the land and the flowers and everything, and taking them to places like that so that they can see and feel the difference outside of it from inside of it.
Beautiful. Do you know Dolores Svetic?
Yeah.
You two need to talk about that, or you maybe come on here and talk about that. Like you two, light language and gardening, and like this, like energy of garden and that sort of thing. Like you two would make it
Yeah, I
amazing.
don't think we're connected. Like I know a name online.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
I think
Thank
you
you.
too, like, cause a lot of what you're describing there, I feel like she does that, and she's like really, um, connecting with the plants and connecting with that energy. And I was just seeing you two together talking about that. I think it would be magic.
Yeah, beautiful. And I've planted 8 rose bushes in the garden. There's going to be a 9th.
Mm.
But so my garden was piles of rubble, and all the rubble was moved, and the basics of the garden was put in. But I've planted all the flowers and kind of brought it to life. Really, my landlady has put the grass in. And something Zahara said, was it Zahara said this to me? I think it was. One of the things, oh no, it was someone else. Zahara drew my soul portrait with a rose, like blowing a rose out of my mouth.
Mm.
And it came up in a reading about, I think, anyway. So one of the things when I'm doing light language, and I particularly noticed this in Glastonbury in Chaliswell Gardens when I was staying there, and I'd gotten up early to do an activation upon the, what do they call it? There's like a grassy bit at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been my place to kind of do activations. And I'll often see energy like going, like in a wave going kind of down the hill. And I was very aware when I was doing these there of creating crystalline roses. When I do the light language activations on the land, it's creating crystalline roses that then just kind of go, and then their energy is like scattered down the line. Not scattered, it's like zapped down the lines. So in my garden, now that the final rose bush has been planted in that particular spot where there's a huge rose grid, the energy in there is just amazing. It's so strong, but it's very, very soft as well. Yeah, rose energy, particularly this year, has just been huge.
That is amazing. That is just amazing. You know, on the breathwork this morning, it was a replay. Did you see what was behind me? I'm just remembering as you say it. It was a golden rose this morning.
Do
This
you know
was a
what this is behind
this,
me?
this was a golden. But on the breathwork this morning when I was doing, because we were doing a replay,
Yeah.
it was a golden rose behind me, and you were just talking about like that. Now is just, I love this reality.
Yeah, this one behind me started off. This is one of my roses in the garden before I've like worked on it. But this is, and it's called a golden rose. It's yellow, but it's called a golden rose.
Wow. I love it. Oh my God.
Crazy.
Magical, magical, magical.
So you're in Portugal,
Mm-hmm. Portal.
and Portugal as a country was started by the my mind's gone blank on their name. Not the Cathars, the ones linked to the Cathars. How
God,
can I not
I can
remember
see the
this?
cross. I can see the cross as well.
Yeah,
The cross is in eucalyptus.
Templars. Templars.
Templars, yes. Knights Templar, yeah.
So have you been to any of the buildings that are linked?
Yes. We've been to the place which would have been regarded as their home, and it's called Tomar. And it was one of those places like, you go and the energy starts going. It was actually more so for Elise there. I remember what happened. But there's a castle there and the energy was very powerful. But there was a lot of stuff going on. I think Elise was getting parallel life experiences where she was in that castle and what she was doing, and it wasn't very pleasant, to be honest, as sometimes it can be. 1747. But yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful place. We didn't spend a lot of time there, but something it's like when you share that, something I learned when I got here is there's another name for Portugal and it's called Lusitania, and the people were called Lusitanians, and that means light. The land of light, and the people of light. So Luz is light. Lusitanians were the people of light, and Lusitania was the land of light. I don't know when exactly that was, but that was something that I heard when I came here. As a friend of ours, and actually he's connected with what you're just talking about. So that's very interesting. But yeah, we like to call it portal now because it really is a portal. This place is drawing so many people, specifically this south coast, and everyone has the same story. They're coming for off-grid community living. They come for a holiday and they end up living here. It's like such a draw at this time of beings coming here. But as far as the other, I'm not sure of the other Templar sites, but that was the main one is Tomar, and we were there for a short visit. It was challenging and beautiful at the same time. So I don't know much else about it. I did watch on Gaia, the guy, he's actually Portuguese. He does a lot of the documentaries on Gaia. I can't remember his name now.
Freddie Silva?
Yes, Freddie Silva. I think he was born in Portugal. I remember watching a bit of one of the things that was very interesting. But Fatima was one of the other places where we were really called to go on the 40 days and 40 nights. Doing some inversion reversal, and then I was called to go back a second time, and it was so beautiful. Oh my God, it was absolutely beautiful the second time. So there's an etheric retreat of Mother Mary and Archangel Raphael above Fatima, and we slept there that night. Is amazing, like really amazing. And you have to have always the contrast. You have the contrast of what's there now, but yeah. Portugal is really a portal.
Mother Mary has been much more in my presence and awareness this year. So I've connected a lot with Mary Magdalene and Isis, and often it's the three of them. But I often kind of tuck Mother Mary behind the others and ignore her a little bit, thinking that she's a bit of a prude, really. I still had that very tainted, even though I'm not Catholic, but I still had that, it had still spread to me that kind of image of how she was being perceived. And I watched an interview with Marguerite Rigoglioso, who said the same. Mary Magdalene's a bit more dangerous. She's a bit more like, we often connect with her first. Yeah. And as she was speaking about Mother Mary and how she'd had a wrong, I felt the presence of Mother Mary in the room, and it was so, so strong. So this year, especially with the womb activations, it's been very much Mother Mary for me. And Mary Magdalene is linked to this area in Yorkshire, as are the Templars. And a lot of the churches were linked with those, and the way that they were built on, the sacred geometric proportions.
Yes.
And I went to Whitby and Scarborough last week, and I went to Whitby a few weeks before. And I was telling somebody about Whitby, and I thought I'd just Google Whitby, and it came up with St Mary's Church. So up by the Abbey is a little church that I'd ignored up until now because I was more focused on the Abbey. And it was St Mary, and also because I only want Mary Magdalene churches, not Mother Mary ones. So I realized that it was a Mother Mary one. I was like, oh, I've got to go there. So I went there, had some deep connections with some dragons, doing some work that I haven't really done here for a long time, but I did a lot of that when I first got here. But then when I went to Scarborough, the church up on the hill there is also a St Mary's, and it was closed. I couldn't on that Tuesday, so I couldn't get into it. But again, some deep work with some dragons there as well. So yeah, Mother Mary has very much been present in my world.
Wow. It's very interesting you say that, because my experience is the direct opposite of yours. Is like Mary Magdalene is in the background and Mother Mary is very present. And I was born into the real estate cult. That's a bit unfair. I was born into that. But yeah, I mean, I have a very deep connection with with Mary Magdalene, and I've had lots of experiences. But in that three that you mentioned, it was like the roles reversed. It feels like that to me. It's like anytime where I'm in a challenge, songs coming to me now. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes. That any time like that, always if I'm in the dent, I used to have terror of dentists because of a absolute traumatic experience in Northern Ireland as young. And every time Mother Mary is just there. Anytime there's like maybe a challenge with me and Elise, we're going through, just Mother Mary's there. She's always present for me in that way, and Mary Magdalene's more in the background. So that's interesting. That reflection there.
I wonder if Mary Magdalene will become more in the foreground for you now.
Well, I mean, when I went into that room and her chat, I mean, what, like, I didn't want to leave. I just wanted to stay there. I just wanted to stay there. It was just like felt like home. It was so beautiful, absolutely incredible, really magical little place.
In the little chapel of Mary Magdalene in the Abbey.
Is it very little? I'm not sure if it's the one that we were in. How many chapels are there in there?
Actually, in the Abbey, there's only the one. Mary's like intact, covered. There's only the one, but further down the road is a second Mary Magdalene chapel.
Okay, so it's that one you were in.
It's called something else.
Okay.
But St Patrick is on the windows there. Did
really?
You see that? Yeah.
Wow.
In the one in the Abbey, St Patrick is in the windows with the 3 snakes.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I don't think I opened my eyes in there for more than as soon as I get in, it was just like boom, and the grip was off, so I wouldn't even have seen it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the 3 snakes: the green, the red, and the golden snake. That's quite a modern window, I think, relative to the building.
Yeah. So St Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, and he's famous for apparently ridding Ireland of snakes. That's why there's no snakes in Ireland, according to the story, the myth. But we all know there's multi-layers to every story. But that's interesting, because I think he was British, I think, was he? I think he was British and he came to Ireland.
I think so. Yeah.
I think, yeah. And there's such, that Celtic connection and that Druid connection and all the Essenes and all of that. That was all those cultures all kind of merged, and this lineage, and all of us here now are very much, of course, connected with those. And you mentioned the Cathar. So I never felt. I heard people talking about it. I remember I was interviewing a guy one time, and he was talking about Cathars, and someone else was talking about Cathars. I never really felt a connection to it. But it was like that Mother Mary, that Beatles song. I had blocked out what I just told you now. I couldn't hear Mother Mary in that song. And one day a guy put it on a text in a live video, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I had blocked it out of my consciousness because of the Northern Ireland religion stuff, but consciousness has the ability of blocking out, so I couldn't hear Mother Mary in that song. So with this Cathar thing, I never felt a connection. I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, Cathar." And then when we got, I knew Mount Bergerach, all of it was the Essene settlement where Mary Magdalene and the Holy Family and all the children, no, the exile, they came into France, and this is the place, one of the places they settled, Mount Bergerach, and that's where we were going. And when we got there, I saw this sign in France, and it was like Cathari, and I was like, that sounds a bit familiar. I was convinced that the Cathar region was in the north, way up in the north of France. And little did I know we were right in the middle of it. And so many of the places we were visiting were Cathar. And then as soon as that we got there, I started getting all these, again, I'd blocked it out, traumatically blocked it out. I started getting all these soul fragments coming. Like I was driving on the road. It was one time, I'm sure I was driving for 45 minutes and I was just continuous light language. I couldn't stop it. And there was like soul fragments just coming in and coming in. And each site we went to, there was a piece of me come back. So I had completely blocked out any memory of that because I feel like it's I still haven't read anything about it. I still only have kind of secondhand information about it, but it is very traumatic, I think. And I completely, like I've done with many things, I completely deleted it until I arrived at the sign. Oh my God, you're in Catholic country. And then it all started. So that was amazing, actually. How
Wow.
consciousness has the ability to completely shield. We think we can see what is there. We think we can hear what's being said, but we only see and hear what our consciousness allows through its filters. And we can swear we see what we see, but we don't see what we see. We see what we are inside through the filter. So quite amazing, this life.
Tell us about your 40-day breath work challenge.
Yes, oh my God. So it's 33 days, thank God. It's 33 days. The sacred site says 40 days and 40 nights. The breath work is 33 days, which just happens to be between 10:10 and 11:11. Just happens to be, of course. And 33, of course, we know 33 vertebrae in the spine, 33 throughout all of ancient scriptures and all spiritual lineages. That 33 number is very significant. So I was guided. So I was gifted with this breathwork technology in 2015, overnight, basically. I just woke up one day and this is what you do, apparently. And it's just been such a blessing in my life, and brought my beloved, and just met so many incredible people and traveled. But over the years, and especially since I become a father, I hadn't been practicing breathwork at all. I've been continuously facilitating, and it brings me so much joy to facilitate it. It's just a joy. It's like one of my absolute joys. But I hadn't been practicing myself, and this was like a little kick up the assets for me to practice as well. So I was guided to do, because I was also guided, this period that we're now in between 10:10 and 11:11 has the potential of being one of the most powerful, transformational, epically shifting experiences of this lifetime. And as always, on the other side, it can be devastation. It can be a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos. So I was guided to do not like a short little breath work, but a full on, like the sessions that we do, like 90 minutes plus, 90 minutes generally, every day for the 33 days. But not facilitating it live, using all of the archives of replays that we have. So I would take part. So I am facilitating, but it's the past version of me. So I'm taking part. So we're doing it every morning at 10:10 UK and Portugal time, and we're on day number 11, I think. So that will continue until 11:11, and that's free for anyone that wants to join. I know it's more for European time zones, really, European in that way. For American, Canadian, it's very early. But yeah, it's been unbelievable. Like I don't even know how to even begin to tell you the stuff that happens there. It's just you have to experience it yourself. But I am actually experiencing it myself, and I've been laughing about it too and telling Elise when I'm hearing that lad that looks like me, it doesn't. I don't recognize myself. It doesn't sound. I don't think that it's me. It doesn't sound like me, and especially when he's doing light language, it brings me around, and I'm like, "What is this? Who?" It's like crazy. And of course, I've heard myself do light language back many times, but there's something when you're in breath work and when like this technology is, it's a gift from beyond. It's very powerful. It's just like, what is that? It's like, it's so funny. But yeah, it's been amazing. So I'm practicing every day, and I'm back on my sadhana. So I'm really got a kick up the assets. I'm back doing my practices that I was doing for many years before my life changed a lot when my little son came in. But so I'm getting up at 4 a.m. into a cold shower, straight into meditation, yoga. First 3-4 hours of the day is just completely self science of self realization. So I'm back doing that, and then breathwork every morning. So it's like full on, good, but good.
And if people want to access that, they need to be on your Telegram.
Yes, Telegram. On the Telegram, the link is it's pinned on there every day. The link is just the same every day. Password's the same every day. And yeah, anyone feels like wants to come in, join, they can check it out. You go to Telegram, t.me/Martin I am, and the link is on there, and all the replays are on there as well. I should get my website updated one of these years, but I do all this stuff myself, and it doesn't get done. But yeah.
Do you know about Venus going into Libra on the 22nd? Have you heard about this?
I do not, but I would like to hear about it.
So this is a 250-year cycle. Apparently Venus is like in a constellation. Is it a constellation? In a sign for 150 years, and then it's out of a sign. I don't know if it's in the same sign, but you know how it's got this it's got a 5-pointed star, like the way that it moves, which becomes a rose. So it's going into Libra. So this is definitely a once in our lifetime experience. So it's going into Libra on the 22nd. I don't really understand how long it's staying for because I got confused with the cycle of it. But the last time it did this was in the 1770s, when there was all this innovation on technology, art. So Braca Goldsmith, it was her video that I watched on YouTube, and she's so excited about it. She's created a t-shirt that she was wearing for it. So that's happening on the 22nd, that it's going into Libra, 29 degrees of Libra. I remembered that bit. So it just feels very in line with all that we're seeing on the planet, all that we're going through. And I don't know where it was prior to this. Yeah, I don't know. But this is a good thing that Venus is into Libra.
Is Libra, I'm not great in astrology. Is Libra the balance?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, that makes total sense.
And so, Libra's to do with like the finer things in life. It's kind of to do with art and things being beautiful as well. That's I've probably just butchered. Apologies to Libras out there and all that I've missed.
So Angelo, he just turned 4. So he is, I only know because, again, I remember Elise, because in Portuguese they say balança. That's why I was saying balance. It's because it's balança. So I think it's the same. So it would be this period now. Yes, we're in Libra now. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So Angelo just turned 4 days ago. So he's Libra or balança. And he tells us about other planets and other lives, and he talks about this stuff a lot. But the 2 planets he talks most about are Jupiter and Venus.
Yeah.
And Venus by far is the one that he talks about the most. He talks about Venus all the time. And so you talking about that there now, so that's this Saturday, yeah? I just looked in the calendar.
Yeah.
2 days time. We're the 20th.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, he talks about Venus a lot. talks about being inside Venus, talks about being inside the sun. He tells some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's beautiful that that's continuing with him, and I guess now that he's more articulate as well with his words.
Totally, and a little bit too articulate on my Irish. He's picked up some of my stuff that doesn't sound so well. But what can you do? You can take the man out of Ireland. You can't take the Ireland out of the man. So he has picked up some not so articulate Irish stuff. But yes, he is very articulate and very. He can share. Like, he's my constant teacher. We were walking out here one night. It was dark, and he said to me, "Do you want to know?" I swear to God, he said, "Do you want to know how to see in the dark?" I said, "Yes." And he stopped me and he held my hand and he says, he put his hand on his third eye. He says, he described it. He says, from your third eye, it goes down here, it goes into your heart, and it goes, and he says, then you can see in the dark. It's just amazing. And we went and we seen, what did we see? We seen Arcturus, that the star Arcturus was blinking at us, and I went and got one of those apps because I didn't know what it was, and we were looking, and Arcturus was blinking at us just after that. It's amazing, some of the stuff he tells us. Wow.
Someone is asking if he's still fascinated with the moon. Kim.
Yes, there was a time. Yeah, not so much. That's interesting. Not so much now. He doesn't talk. I mean, a little bit, but no. Venus and Jupiter, but Venus more so. He talks so much about that. Yeah, in the morning times, usually if he's just waking up. But yeah, that's the thing I was going to say. I'm always asking him these sorts of questions, and he's always telepathically saying to me, I want to be human. I want to play. I want to, stop asking me these blah, blah, So I really have to rein myself in on that stuff because, of course, I'm insatiable appetite for that sort of stuff. So I'm always like, oh, tell me about this, tell me about that. And a lot of times he'll tell me telepathically, and now he's telling me verbally. He just won't say anything because, of course, he's here to have a human experience, and he's not like... And that will be the fullness of this human experience, including his Irish slang, and maybe a few swear words have sneaked in there, which I can't hide. I said, why can you not just say some of the good things that Popeye says? But no, the things said with real emotion, they come. So, what to do?
Do we have time for a little light language? I know you might need to
Always.
get off.
No, I don't need to get off. And I want to apologize again. I kept you late, kept you waiting. I don't need to get off, not at all. We always have time.
Good. All good. Do you want to go first?
Se tutto tika yata nara tapa u yattu urikya apa I shansan nara ati yata tata yawarati hin imra ati tu upar atata se yata tikara ayate inara si itiwa amara itiwa atiwa yetiama hai tiwa hatia.
Ki hat od horrende gebarta gede her no borba gede gimbar de o kikele ki ham do ut ara
Lehia noren kipet de paran. Ukleki han to good on da. Ikeleki hon no kuhust da maki. And my parale kore to goodbye used. And a maki han orun ko ood. And a maki hal it o hor. Uko koko leki to ost. And a maki le back at the ko ood da. Elikita ana could own Kukeleke hana could ood da. Kikeleki could Yona katata and could like it could
Hinnayan namayayan noroyan yamaki arayo yanoi yamayanan nikayara tirayan noyan namaraya kanay andarayan doyan namakayan nanday amundoy andanday gandi andaraya Humarayan nuri kuyataraya hambaraya tataday katan sanahan nagayamandaya Unduriyamagayan daraya tatatuyamakayan hunayamandanay namarindan undarayan marayin darayan darayan Inanayan nayan Moya satrahay terakita hesa Tikaisa sa tiohara tiketi tiara tiaham puri itarai ina sata kitra apo I tuto urke ata
Anna pakete herra de kunda para de gete te tonta a. Ikeleki para na kuda uish a. Kikeleki han ko kon an. Meki it und da para de gete it at tot kala pakete in. Han leki hamada pakete it order to a. Ukeleki han it usht ad Harad Honda could a cure or ticket a. It could bam dear to go move with the papa with you. Holy hand the word to good me better on. I like it bucket.
Nayanayo Humanayana Kiranaya Turumayi Anara Gurunayanahi Hinama Ararai Anarayiku namahi Urunai Sashosu Yasasu Shosasa Shusu Shusu Shu
Here in hoi han ut a hien tot andra get up on tata. Kike hino o eas to uta at to uta. Ita to uta. Yanakai ai. Oia que te hayo naki yo. Ayana ai. Ayana yo. Hey. Yaron makipi on ko unist. Ille hiantorent a upbit at tikit a kikla bit over
All right.
Mm.
I don't think I can open my eyes.
I was buying to like really like a royal, like really. There was I think it was at the first transmission there from you. It was like I was buying like this very royal lineage. If I say the word Sirius and the word Lyran, which one jumps to you? If any,
Probably
if any.
Sirius, I mean both, but there was a bit more energy around Sirius.
Okay. I was really feeling this. Of course, it's not like human royal lineage, but this very regal, and I was like just feeling like I had to, and that it was the same at the end again. It was like this real reverence, not in hierarchy, in real reverence, just bowing in reverence. So I bow to you.
And I bow to you.
At 18 and 18 seconds.
And I had 12 notifications, and there was 12 here at that point.
Ooh, 12 12s, 144.
Ah, yes, of course. Okay.
And 12 12, 33. Come on. We got it all covered. We're done. Tech, we're done. Next.
Righty. Thank you so much, Martin.
Thank you. And apologies again for holding you up today as I danced the dimensions and danced in the darkness and danced in the light. So good to be here. Thank you for asking me. Thank you for bringing me out of my cocoon again. I very appreciate this opportunity, and it's so
Always
good.
Perfect timing.
Yes.
And we were having a little bit of a giggle. Actually, let me tell you this. I'm surprised I could keep a straight face seeing your face, because those photos that you sent me yesterday.
I can't believe you used them. I sent them as a joke, and then you did it, which is even better. I just love that. That was hilarious. Hilariously brilliant.
I laughed so heartily at those.
So did I. I couldn't believe you used them. So good.
I was a bit weepy in the morning yesterday for no particular reason. And then those photos came through, and I laughed hysterically like I've never laughed before. Louder than I've ever laughed before, in a way that I've never laughed before, and for a long, long time. And it was what I'm sure it's going to be one of those things that when I look at that photo, it's just always going to tickle my chuckle button. So I thought that was going to happen today. I thought I was going to see your face and just be hysterical.
Just laugh at your face. Oh, that is epic. I know, that's so funny. I got at least, we were just having fun, and I said, at least take some photographs, and I'm just going to just pull some weird faces. But I didn't expect you to actually use them, which was amazing. I love it. We got to laugh. We got to belly laugh every day. In the book that I have still yet to get put out there, there's one whole chapter, Ananda channeled a one whole chapter specifically on laughter and the benefits of laughter and belly laughter every day. It is so key, and the joy, and it's so important. So important. So if you want to laugh at my belly laugh at my face, you're very welcome.
those photos aligned as well, because it's like just so
Yes.
indicative of how it is. It's like, 1 minute, and the next like, aha. And then the one with the hoodie on, like the Zen in the middle. And it is just like we're weaving through those constantly. Like I think I said, it's like we weave through that in a day. And then I was like, no,
Yes.
it's not like we weave through that in an hour.
Absolutely. Buddha, gutter, confused, ecstatic,
Yeah.
shocked, stillness. Yes. Every hour for sure. I had like the breathwork session the other day. Oh my God, not today. I think it was yesterday. That it was like I couldn't believe that I was actually mad with my past self that did this music playlist, because it was just designed to pull up every emotion that it could, and it did. Oh my God. I was like, I was actually afraid of what song was going to play next. It was crazy. Actually, some people were in pure bliss, but I was like just pulled into every emotion, every sensation. It was exactly how I was supposed to be, but I was a little bit pissed off with my past self for doing this to this self.
I enjoyed hearing Wild Marmalade as well on one of the
Yes,
ones.
that was you. That was you. Give that to me. Yes. Was that the? I don't think that was the crazy playlist. That it might have been. It might have been that one. You were on that one. Was that today or yesterday?
I was there today, but I don't think I was there yesterday. I think I was
It
there.
wasn't. It wasn't today. But that Wild Marmalade, I remember you give me that song because it was when we were doing your
Yeah.
Love Speaks Love 100. And
Yeah.
we did some breath work, or we did something for it, and you sent me those tracks, and I used that one because it's epic.
I'm starting to play Ditch. I don't think I'm ever
Yes, amazing. The circular breathing, that's amazing, huh? I tried and could not do it at all. Oh wow.
A little circular one. A little
Beautiful.
spiral.
Beautiful.
I still can't really play it, but something clicked yesterday. Or was it the day before? I think it was the
Send
day
me a
before.
message, yeah. You remember you saying, yeah. You will remember. You will remember. Take it into your little grass circles.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you all of our viewers. I was going to say watchers, but that just sounds really weird. Everyone who's been with us on this live, thank you all so much. And everyone who watches this on the replay. And I might put my PayPal in as well. If anyone feels to pop a donation in there, that would be amazing. I stopped saying anything about PayPal a long time ago, but I'm getting the nudge to kind of bring in the community support aspect of it. So I will pop that on the comments, or you can show your appreciation by sharing it to any places as well, because I only really share it to a couple. And yeah, thank you all so much.
Will this be on YouTube as well, so I can share it in Telegram? Is it on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't share Facebook things, but I can share YouTube.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I will do that. I don't know if it'll be today, but I'll let you have the link.
Of course. Amazing.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We're going to stop the live stream. Love, 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 love.